Welcome back to the TBC podcast. If you enjoy these deep dives into success, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button for more insightful audiobooks like this one. Today, we're going to be exploring the secrets to unstoppable success. And with me to break all that down, I've got our expert here, ready to get going.
Absolutely. It's always so fascinating to see how these concepts that seem so abstract, can actually be translated into real action in our lives.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's get into it. We hear all the time about the power of desire, but what does that really mean, like in terms of harnessing this burning drive for achieving something great?
Well, you can think of it this way. Imagine a young athlete who has this burning desire to compete in the Olympics. It's not just a fleeting thought, it's this deep yearning that fuels their training every single day. It pushes them to their limits and keeps them going, even when they face those setbacks. That's desire in action,
Hmm.
a relentless force that keeps pushing them towards their goal.
So it's more than just wanting it. It's this like
Yeah.
unwavering commitment, this fire inside that fuels the entire journey.
Exactly. It's that pure energy that really separates those who just dream from those who really take action and make those dreams a reality.
Totally. Now, right alongside that desire, we have this concept of faith, like unwavering belief in yourself, in your own ability to succeed. How does that play into it all?
Faith, you can think of that as the guiding light, the thing that illuminates the path even when it's uncertain. It's that trust in yourself, that conviction that no matter what obstacles come your way, you have the strength and the resilience to overcome them.
So it's almost like this inner knowing, deep down, you're confident that success is inevitable.
Exactly. And that faith, it's not just blind optimism, it's a belief that's grounded in preparation and hard work and in a commitment to continuously grow.
Okay, so we've got this driving force of desire, faith is our guiding light, and now we bring in this super interesting concept of autosuggestion. Can you talk more about that?
Well, imagine a musician, right? And they're practicing a really challenging piece. They don't just physically rehearse the notes, they're also mentally rehearsing the performance. They can visualize themselves playing flawlessly, hearing the applause, and feeling that exhilaration of a successful concert. That right there is autosuggestion. It's about consciously feeding your subconscious mind with positive images and affirmations that ultimately shape your beliefs and influence your actions.
So it's like you're planting seeds of success in your mind, and then you nurture those seeds with positive thoughts, and they blossom into real, tangible results.
I love that analogy. It's really about training your mind to focus on what you want to achieve rather than dwelling on doubts or fears.
I love it. So we're talking about the power of our thoughts to shape our reality. Now, in addition to all this stuff, desire, faith, autosuggestion, there's this emphasis on specialized knowledge. What can you tell me about that?
Let's say you're really passionate about cooking. You could just, play around with it as a hobby, but to really become great at it, you need to totally immerse yourself. You learn the techniques, understand those subtle nuances of flavors, experiment with different cuisines. This dedication to gaining specialized knowledge turns passion into expertise. It's what sets you apart from the average person.
So you're going beyond that surface level understanding and really diving deep into a subject, mastering the skills and knowledge you need to truly excel.
Exactly. You have to invest the time and effort to become a true authority in your chosen field.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge. How do we put all of that into practice? That's where imagination and organized planning come in.
Think of imagination as like the architect of your success. You're not just vaguely dreaming about your goals, you're vividly imagining them. You can see yourself achieving them. You can feel the emotions. You can experience those rewards. That detailed visualization becomes a really powerful motivator, and it helps to solidify your vision.
So you're creating a mental blueprint, a clear picture of what success is going to look like, what it's going to feel like, and that guides your actions.
Absolutely. And hand in hand with that imagination, we need organized planning. It's just like building a house, You wouldn't just start throwing bricks around without a plan, would you? You need that blueprint, that step-by-step guide to take your vision and make it a reality.
Yeah, so organized planning is providing the structure. It's the roadmap that you use to navigate the journey from where you are to where you want to be.
Exactly. It's breaking down your goals into manageable steps, setting deadlines, tracking your progress, and making those adjustments along the way.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So we've got desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, and organized planning. And then there's this final piece of the puzzle, the sixth sense. What's that all about?
So imagine you've got this seasoned entrepreneur, And they just seem to have this uncanny ability to spot opportunities that everyone else misses. They make decisions that may seem a bit unconventional, but they consistently lead to success. It's not just luck. It's often attributed to their highly developed sixth sense, this intuitive knowing that guides them.
So it's like an inner compass, a heightened awareness that helps to navigate that path to success.
Yeah, it's about trusting your gut, those instincts, those little nudges and flashes of insight that often point us in the right direction.
That's so fascinating. But how do you actually cultivate this sixth sense? Are we born with it, or is it something we can actually develop?
That is a fantastic question, and one that we'll explore more as we dive even deeper into these secrets of unstoppable success.
I'm hooked already. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back to uncover more of these incredible insights.
Sounds good. So, speaking of that sixth sense and intuition, there's this amazing story about this woman named Ozma Yan. She was a national cycling champion. But before all that, she was stuck in this cycle of negativity, constantly comparing herself to other people and always feeling like she wasn't enough. She was totally in a scarcity mindset, thinking, if someone else wins, then that means I lose.
Oh, yeah. It's so easy to fall into that trap of comparison.
Yeah.
Especially these days with all the social media stuff. So how did she get out of that negative cycle?
Well, the big turning point for her came when she realized she had a choice. She could either stay stuck in that envy and jealousy, or she could use those feelings as motivation. And she chose to do that. She shifted her focus from what she didn't have to her desire to be extraordinary.
So instead of feeling threatened by other people's success, she used it as fuel to power her own journey.
Exactly. That shift from scarcity to abundance was huge. She started to see that success was something everyone could achieve, not just this limited resource that people had to fight over.
Such an important point.
Yeah.
Seeing success as abundant totally opens up all these possibilities.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And this shift in perspective was what led her to cycling. It wasn't something she had planned on, but she embraced the challenge, pushed her limits, and ended up achieving national recognition.
It's so inspiring to see how, like, embracing those challenges, even the ones that take us out of our comfort zone, can lead to these amazing things.
Yeah.
But speaking of comfort zones, I think it's time we bring in Chris Eubank's perspective. He's got some really interesting thoughts on risk-taking and how it relates to success.
Oh, absolutely. Chris Eubank, the world champion boxer, he's got this great analogy for people who avoid taking risks. He says it's like owning a Ferrari, but only driving it in first gear. Like, sure, you might not crash, but you'll never get to experience the real thrill of it, the full potential of what you have.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Playing it safe can seem like the smart move, but it can really hold us back from reaching our full potential.
Totally. Eubank's message is loud and clear. Risk is absolutely essential for growth and success. It's about embracing the uncomfortable stuff, the uncertainty, and the chance of failure that comes with pushing your boundaries.
But for a lot of people, the fear of failure can be paralyzing. So how do we get past that fear and actually take those leaps of faith?
Well, Eubank's advice is to stop overthinking things. He says accept failure as feedback and get comfortable with the discomfort of pushing your limits. He reminds us that honestly, nobody really cares if we fail, and the people who, do you know the ones who make fun of us trying? They're usually the ones too afraid to try themselves.
That's a really freeing thought. So
Yeah.
it's not about never failing. It's about changing how we see failure as just another step on the road to success.
Exactly. Every time we stumble, every setback is a chance to learn, to adjust our course, and to come back even stronger.
So becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable is a key part of growth.
Absolutely. Growth and comfort, they don't really go together. Real progress happens when we step outside our comfort zone into the unknown. It's in those uncomfortable moments that we discover our true potential.
This is all so insightful. So when we think about all these amazing ideas, what are some key takeaways for our listeners? What are some small things they can do today to start embracing risk and discomfort?
Well, could it be as simple as speaking up in a meeting or picking up a new hobby, or even just taking that first step towards a dream you had for a long time? Remember, success is not about being perfect. It's about constant growth and learning.
Yeah, it's about having that courage to step outside our comfort zone, to embrace the unknown and trust that we can handle whatever comes our way.
Totally. And as we start this journey of unstoppable success, so we got to remember the stories of Asma John and Chris Eubank. Their journeys really show us that transformation is possible, that our limitations are often ones we put on ourselves, and that we all have that power inside to achieve amazing things.
I love that. Their stories are proof that our mindset, our resilience, and our willingness to embrace challenges can make all the difference. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to go back to something we talked about earlier, the sixth sense. We talk about it as this intuitive knowing, this gut feeling that guides us towards success. But is it something we can actually develop, or are some people just born with it?
That's a great question, and it's one that people have been thinking about for centuries. Some people might say that intuition is a natural gift, but I actually believe it's a skill that can be honed and strengthened through practice.
So how can we tap into and develop this inner compass?
It starts by becoming more self-aware, like paying attention to those subtle whispers of intuition, those gut feelings that pop up when we're making decisions.
So it's about learning to trust our instincts.
Exactly. And we build that trust through experience by paying attention to the times when our intuition led us in the right direction and also the times when we ignored it and maybe things didn't go so well.
Right, so it's a process of trial and error learning to tell the difference between those intuitive nudges and, just wishful thinking.
Exactly. And along with self-awareness, things like meditation and mindfulness can really help. They quiet the mind and create space for those intuitive insights to come through.
It sounds like developing that sixth sense is like an ongoing journey of self-discovery.
It really is. And the more we develop that intuitive knowing, the closer we get to our true purpose and the path that leads to our full potential.
This has been an incredible conversation filled with actionable advice and inspiring stories. So as we wrap up this deep dive into unstoppable success, what's one final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
I would encourage everyone to really embrace this journey of continuous growth and learning. Remember, success isn't about reaching some destination. It's about constantly evolving and expanding. Embrace the challenges, celebrate the wins, and never stop believing in your own unstoppable potential.
I love that. That's such a great reminder to take ownership of our growth and to approach this journey with courage and curiosity. A huge thank you to our expert for all this amazing wisdom and to all our listeners for joining us on this deep dive into unstoppable success. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more insightful audiobooks just like this one. And until next time, keep pushing those boundaries, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep believing in the power you have to achieve anything you set your mind to.